What's up, Internet? We are here yet again in Pokemon Crystal, doing this at like the absolute last minute I possibly could to still have it released today, because I'm a responsible adult. Also, I've been dealing with some weird problems with the RF. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I just saw like this weird error message pop up saying it's not responding when I turn this on. I'm like, oh no, this is bad. But I've been trying to get a bunch of stuff done this week. And also, I've been sick, which, can I just bitch about that for a sec? You get a flu shot, so that, basically you inject yourself with the sickness, hoping that you won't get sick in the future because of it. I know it's probably a lot more, you know, of a thing than this. I don't have my Corsola, but it's like saying, okay, I want you to punch me in the face so that at some point in the future, you'll be so bored of the concept of punching me in the face that maybe you don't punch me in the face. It's like a self-defeating prophecy of sorts. Like, I don't want to get sick, so I'm just gonna make myself sick. That's just... oh, it's weird. But, yeah, I've been having some weird problems with the RF. I planned on doing 2 streams this week, and I guess I kind of did, but... where is it? No, there it is. But, I didn't do the one I wanted, so if I'm lucky, I'll get that done tomorrow. Having a lot of stuff on my plate sucks, is the long and short of it. But, here we are in Pokemon Crystal World on our quest for epic revenge, being stopped by a jackhole of a salesman who won't let us just pass and get a goddamn Skarmory. I'm still angry about this. And I think we have to catch another Chinchou at some point, just so that we have more water HMs. Or a Marill. But the thing about a Marill is, I believe they are exclusive to, like, special in-game events, which I don't want to have to deal with right now. So, I guess we have to go back to Olivine and deal with all that nonsense, even though I really wanted to shortcut that a little bit and get some other stuff done. Because progression! We're just gonna arbitrarily force you to take one path instead of opening up the world, even though we actually open up the world for you. I will admit, that's kind of a weird way to do things. I mean, they let you take this other route completely off the beaten tracks, and then you think you'd be able to actually do something with it, and you can't. It just comes across as weird. Oh, I don't want to go down there. But, back to Olivine, where we're gonna go storm the castle that is a lighthouse to get some lady to fight us, because reasons. And we should stop at the Pokemon Center because we still don't have Fly. I don't think we have Fly. Even if we do, we don't have a monster that can learn it. Alright, to the Pokemon Centre. Heal me! Even though I don't need it, I just want to reset my spawn point should I get knocked down. Alrighty. So, this has happened to me this week. I don't have cable. Like, weirdly, I'm like the only the only place in the building that doesn't have cable. I guess, like, the connection is just really bad for my room or something, but, I don't have cable, but I went upstairs and I was watching someone else's TV because I had to do a thing for them, and I was just killing some time. And I noticed this weird ad for this game I had literally never heard of, and apparently it came out a couple days ago. And it looked really genuinely interesting, like it was like this weird open-world space exploration game. Like, it looked like No Man's Sky if you made it arcadey and not shit. But it also had, like, its own built-in, like, amiibo system where you had to, like, plug in this, like, spaceship toy, and it was, like, a modular thing, so you could remove the fuselage and the wings and the weapons and, like, completely make your own custom thing. And that looked really genuinely interesting. And even though I'm unemployed and am living off Patreon donations at this point, which, you know, feel free to hit that up so that I can, you know, make better content and more content more frequently and stuff. Like I said, I was doing something for someone and they paid me a little bit, and I decided to take a little bit of the money I made and pick up a copy of that, or rather I ordered one off Amazon because Amazon is an ass and a half when it comes to shipping. I'm supposed to get it by Friday, so maybe I'll do a video about that. maybe. But, I think that game was called, like, Starlink or something, and that game definitely suffers from, Soul Calibur 2 syndrome, in that it's on every system, but one is clearly the one to get the Switch version, because while the others get, like, the generic starter ship, the Switch version gets that ship as well digitally, but the Switch version comes with, like, an actual model of a Star Fox R-Wing. That's just in that game because it's the Switch version for some reason. And I think that's kind of fascinating to me. I mean, I'm not saying that means the Switch finally has a game worth owning, because I think that might be, you know, a stretch. But it looked interesting, and I actually fell into some money, so I decided to pick it up a little bit. But, yeah, if you want more surprise awesome games in the future or something, you know, feel free to hit my Patreon. That way I can actually afford to buy games and eat and stuff and things, and it would be cool. But, yeah, I'm really behind this week. But the nice thing is I did get to play that fighting game with my brother, so I got some extra content. Plus I got to hang out with my brother, which doesn't really happen all that often. So, you know, everyone wins a little bit. Although I still have not done that one game I've had for about a week yet that I still haven't started, just because I've been behind on so many other things. But the nice thing is I'm basically caught up, so I should be okay starting this week or the next week, and I should be able to just do some stuff. As long as nothing falls randomly out of the sky on top of me, as stuff wants to do. Also, Pidgeys are giant lightning rods. And this is why you get a water and electric type. You don't have to worry about lightning attacks doing damage to you, and you can hurt everything else. Okay, Birdkeeper, did you not hear how I said Pidgeys are basically lightning rods and I have an electric monster? Clearly you didn't, or you would just forego throwing out another Pidgey. Also, I'm like twice your level. Yeah, clearly you're not actually supposed to come this way, you're supposed to go the other way, or you're supposed to come this way first and not go the way we did. But, like I said, I wanted to shortcut some stuff and get a full party, which we have not done because arbitrary roadblocks. I'm not getting over that anytime soon, I don't think. And, again, I've said this so many times, but that's really the core problem of Gen 2 Pokemon, is all the interesting monsters that this game adds are, like, not available until, like, the latter half of the game. It just means, sure, it gives you something to work towards if you know they're out there and you kind of know what monsters you want, but at the same time, if you're going in and you just want some interesting monsters that are completely new, you're going to not have much of a team until, like, the end. Which means your team's going to basically be, like, entirely favoring one or two monsters and just having the rest be so underleveled just because you got them so late in the game. Makes you almost wonder why you'd bother training them, because at that point you've already got a team at that point, or you should, if you're playing sensibly. Now, I'm not playing sensibly, but I'm not playing sensibly by design. But it just comes across as a little weird, is all I'm saying. But on the nice points, unlike the first time I played this, I did not select a Chikorita, so we should be able to beat this gym leader just fine. Because this gym leader absolutely sucks if you have a Chikorita. Because it's a steel type. In fact, I remember talking to a lot of people back in the day, because, you know, Pokemon was so big at school, and everyone laughed at me for picking Chikorita because everyone else picked, like, either Totodile or Cyndaquil, and everyone who had Cyndaquil was just like, yeah, that gym is stupid easy. Just use Flame Wheel. Takes everything out in one hit. Water Gun! Truly, Lantern is the unbreakable spirit of the team. The newcomer who will not be conquered. Although clearly our mascot is the reincarnation of Static Kling, our dearest Luna. But, you know, Pokemon, it's good stuff. For the most part, when it's balanced and it's not blocking you off arbitrarily. Now, what else is there really coming up? I mean, there's the gym which we're going to clear. There's another gym we might be able to do. We'll throw out Luna. And then you'll fight me. Oh yeah, we're gonna... Yeah, Lantern is kind of amazing like that. Which is funny, I never really bothered using it before, but it's like... I've got so few monsters I can work with because of my arbitrary rules here. And I can't get all the really fun monsters, like I wanted to get a Heracross, I wanted to get a freaking Pineco, I wanted to get, you know, Skarmory, I wanted to get Gligar, which those latter two I'll probably still get eventually, but because arbitrary roadblocks, I can't. But Lantern is at least nice because it's a dual typing. The rest of my team isn't, and that pisses me off. Because as stated, dual typing is kind of better than single typing in pretty much every way, just because it gives you some coverage. Plus, it means that your attacks are going to have a little bit wider range of what you can do with. I think we go down this way. And we fight this guy. And hey, Gen 2 Pokemon, it means this guy's going to probably use more than a Machop, a Voltorb, and a Tentacruel. He's got a Poliwhirl. I like that Poliwhirl sprite. I could just imagine him having like a microphone in one hand, just like rocking out. Just like trying to be a flare dancer or something. Poliwhirl's got style in this game. I never did get a Politoed, but again, that's one of those monsters that's like, you gotta trade to get it, so I never bothered. I've heard they're good, but it's just one of those things that's like, why would you... I guess it's to, you know, force people to buy more accessories and games and stuff, but still, it's just annoying for the average person who doesn't have people to trade with and stuff. It's like, oh, well, I just can't get that guy, I guess. Fight me. Yeah, Jasmine is taking care of a thing. I don't remember how to deal with this. We're gonna figure it out as we go, I guess. Okay, I don't remember how this type-up works. Let's use Shadow Ball and see what happens. Probably super effective. Yes, but I've got levels on you, so I'm not worried. Machop. Didn't you learn? Your previous Machop was no match for my monster that's weak to your Machop. Aren't low kicks like illegal moves in fighting? You're playing dirty. Oh, new move. Confuse Ray. Yes, please. See, the problem is I can see value in keeping Sand Attack, too. Do I want to get rid of Quick Attack or Sand Attack? Like, I think Swift is kind of a no-brainer to keep. I guess we'll get rid of Quick Attack, even though I know the value of that one. I got all the trade ones from first generation, but that's because I later got a link cable and I ended up buying like the GameCube, like Game Boy adapter thing, so I ended up getting all the Gen 1 monsters, but that's the only ones I've ever gotten. Gen 2 and after that I never bothered getting all of them because I theoretically probably could have gotten all the Gen 2 monsters because back in the day I was the only person who had Pokemon Silver because Gold is clearly the better one because it's the rarer element or whatever. I was literally the only one in my school who had Silver, so I could have just traded generic, like, shit monsters that are exclusive to this game and gotten everything if I wanted, but I just never bothered. There were 4. There was Alakazam, Machop, or Machamp, What were the other two? I know there were 4. I just can't think of what they were now. Okay, so now we gotta go to Cyanwood. Oh, it was Gengar, Alakazam, Machamp, and Golem. Those were the 4. And then this generation added, like, the ones that have to be traded with items. So there's Politoed, there's Scizor, there's Steelix. And I want to say there was one more, but I can't think of what it is. I don't think Battle Tower was in Silver, so I'm not familiar with it. And this house is where you get a Shuckle. There was a house here where you got a Shuckle. I guess I removed it from this version or something. I don't care. This is very much not my problem. And since we're on the water, I'm betting Jewel's gonna have a field day here. That's the plan. I think the next gym is fighting type, and that... I don't think I've got anything that's going to be particularly good against fighting type. I mean, I have a fighting type myself, but... I guess we'll figure it out as we go. I've certainly already taken care of Price, so I've probably got at least a level advantage on you, but... I don't know what I'm gonna do for this gym, because it's fighting. I can take the Steel gym, that's no problem. I've got a fire type, but... I don't want to fight all these people. I know I generally like to fight everyone, but I just don't want to fight all these people. It's boring. Alright, Tentacools. How many sparks do I have left? 10. Gotta be careful with it, I guess. Now, this is also the route where we'll find the Whirl Islands, which we can't currently do anything about. I don't think we have the proper, like, plot progression to do anything about it anyway. Which is fine. I don't really aspire... Hey, Tentacruel, I think this is like a 5% chance of showing up. That's kind of neat. I didn't want to do that. Oop. But I have levels on you, so I'm not really scared. Can I make it to Cyanwood, Canewood, or however you pronounce that, under 9 more attacks? 8 more attacks. Hey! You got paralyzed. I can use that move too. It's just not very useful in my position. Alright, Jewel. Just gotta keep going to the left, I think. Another one of you guys. And then after we do both these gyms, I think it's either then like plot progression, still blocking the way, and then we have to do like some extra side nonsense, or we can go after the 8th gym and finally actually finish my team. Which would be nice, seeing as that's what I've been trying to do for like the past 3 episodes. I don't want to fight you. I'm confident in my level, actually, for once. Stop running into me, Tentacruel. You're smelly and no one likes you. Your big pointy nose. Actually, I think that's a tentacle, but it looks like a nose. Looks like an elephant trunk, but pointier. Alright, we made it. You can't run into monsters in town. That's against the rules. Run again. because I just want to heal up and set my spawn. As soon as I can find the town. Come on, it said I was in town. Clearly, I'm not in any town. What shenanigans are you playing, game? Land! Alright, we made it. Now I gotta find the Pokemon Center to get more use of Spark, which I'm not sure how useful that's going to be against the gym leader. I guess we'll find out. Photo Studios! Useful if you have the Pokemon Game Boy printer thing that genuinely I don't think anyone ever owned. Which is weird. I've got like a bunch of games that actually feature Pokemon Game Boy printing technology, but I genuinely don't think anyone ever actually owned one. I played Sanriomon the other day, and that had that functionality as well, and it was weird. Pretty straightforward and decent game, though. Okay, this is fighting. I guess we'll start with Duel. Now, in any other game after this, this would be a duel battle. But it's not. It's just going to jump us into another fight afterwards, I think. Because back-to-back fighting. Alright. Hitmonlee. Now, I don't have a flying type. That could be a problem. That was a cool animation. Some of the animations in this game are actually genuinely nice. I guess Supersonic didn't affect. That's gonna do some damage. Spark. I mean, it looks like your legs are made of springs, which means you're metal, which means you conduct electricity. Clearly. Alrighty. So, there's at least 4 trainers in this gym. They've all got fighting types, which is a type I'm not really able to handle all that well. This is going to be interesting real quick. No, it's electrifying though, isn't it? Okay, martial artists fear nothing except birds. You fear birds because you can't fight birds, they just swoop and attack you. That's why I wish I had a Skarmory right about now. You know, that thing I've been trying to get for... I don't remember Hitmonchan being so pink. Or did I never had a Game Boy Color? What do I know? I guess we'll throw Luna out and see what she can do. But fighting seems to be super effective, so I'm not sure how good that's going to work on anyone. Oh, awesome. I mean, I can try and confuse it. You're trying to use the Saitama strats, aren't you? Have an elemental punch for all occasions! I tried that, it doesn't work all that well. It's very stylish, and it sounds great in theory, but it's genuinely not very good. What you need is like Mega Punch or Mach Punch or any of the like many awesome punch attacks. I think Mach Punch was the one from Gen 3 you got for beating the gym leader. I really like that move, even though it's a complete gamble. Okay, can I beat you before you kill me? Evidently I can. Thank you, lucky critical hit. Now we're gonna absolutely cheat and go back and heal. Because I'm already not... No, that other guy was shocked. You were just dazzled by my awesome charm and grace. And, you know, my Umbreon. Alright. Heal me up, please. Or, as we all know, completely disintegrate and clone my monsters, thus giving me almost identical monsters that will secretly take over the world with other clones. And replace everyone eventually. Because that's how things work in Pokemon, clearly. Alright. How do I want to go about doing this? What the hell? We'll throw Van Damme out there. No, I want to switch. Like that Nintendo console that doesn't have any good games on it. You know, the one that isn't, the Wii U. Knob. Knob. Alright. So, I think we need strength here, which is interesting because I don't think I actually have strength. Nor do I think I have a badge that'll let me use strength. Are we gonna have to go back, heal the lady, then come back here? Because, I mean, I'll do that, I guess, but I don't really want to. I just wanted to catch a Skarmory, damn it. Maybe someday. I don't know, I'm already playing with enough arbitrary rules. Why would I throw a Nuzlocke run on top of all of this? Maybe eventually, but this is the first time in like 20 years I've played this game. I need to get a little bit more practiced before I can figure out what the hell to do with the Nuzlocke run. Besides, I sat there and rammed my head into a tree for 2 hours straight. Do people want to see me play Ultra, like, cautiously while doing that? I think not. Alright. I don't have strength, do I? And even if I did, I have to catch a monster to teach it strength. Do I have strength? No, I don't. Okay. I guess we're going back. Yeah, I think you might get strength for, helping that, one Pokemon out. Yes, they're the Whirl Islands. You use Whirlpool to get in, talk to Lugia, and fight. And then maybe catch Lugia. Oh, this is the guy with the Shuckle. I thought it was an Olivine. Yes. And then you leave and you come back and he says he wants his Shuckle back, and you could give it back to him, but why would you? You get nothing for it. Not that I plan on really using Shuckle or anything. Yes. Little Timmy's lighthouse monster is stuck down the well. Secret potion. That sounds ambiguous and also probably illegal. Oh, tree bashing. It's the worst thing ever. Okay, so I'm hoping by healing this guy all the way back in Olivine, I'm going to get strength, which will let me go through there. I hope that Reef can learn strength, or something else I have can learn strength, because I don't want to teach anything else I have strength. And then that, and then hopefully then we can finally go catch a goddamn Skarmory. Damn it, I'm still pissed off about that, and I'm not going to get better. And from what I remember, Skarmory's like the worst monster to try and catch because it's got such a low catch rate, so that's gonna be fun to deal with. On top of getting sick and numerous technical issues that we're dealing with. I wonder if I can just, like, fix the, hardware or software revision of the RF. And that'll fix whatever bugs it's currently dealing with. Maybe I'll do that afterwards. I didn't want to fight you. Oh well. Should've bought some repels. That's the thing I should have done. Save myself some grief fighting Tentacruels every few minutes. Because Tentacruels are annoying to have to fight every few minutes. Goldeen. I'm annoyed you only have so few attacks, and one of them is still Tackle Van Damme. Granted, Dizzy Punch is your go-to, but still. I know where to catch a freaking Skarmory, I just can't get there. There's a guy standing in the way saying, "Oh, nope, go away." It's annoying because that's been my goal for like the past 3 episodes. Just want a goddamn Skarmory, and I guess because it's in the area, Gligar, because I never got one back in the day. And then we've got at least a full team. But damn it, this... Why do it that way? Like, I get if you want to, like, deal with everything in this area, then we'll let you move on, you know? Get, like, the Boulder Badge fighting Brock before we let you move on to Mount Moon. Okay, fine, but I cleared the town, let me move on. Hell, you're letting me get here early. Why not just let me go? Don't get me started on Chinchos. Although I think I do need to get one because I think it's like one of 2 water monsters that can learn all the HMs, and I don't want to teach Jewel any of them really. Maybe Surf, just because I think it gets Hydro Pump, but it's like way late in the game, so Surf is just more practical, but... This is just like a large comedy of errors is what this is, and it's depressing. Mr. Pointy Trunk McGee over here with his giant bulbous face. He did Dizzy Punch. Constrict. I fear not your constrictions. Alright. Tentacruel's down. Now hopefully with no more interruptions, I present you an interruption. Oh look, it's a Tentacool. I'll give Gen 3 this much credit. It had a lot of water, so they added a lot of water monsters. I mean, not many of them were all that great, but... At least you ran to more than, like, 2 every time you went and surfed. Hooray! New move? Hooray! Counter! That's actually useful! Awesome. Okay, I guess we will throw Jewel back out, because she'll at least have some advantage against all the Tentacruels ever. And we don't run into another one. Awesome. Okay, let's go give the Ampharos its illicit substance. Then go fight the Steel Gym Leader, hopefully get strength somewhere along the way, because I don't know where to get it. And also beat the Canewood Gym, and then hopefully that random jerk bag who keeps saying, no, you're not allowed past here because stupidness, will let me go past so I can go catch a Skarmory. I do not like arbitrary, just like random barriers. It completely destroys the immersion and the natural flow of a game. I want to go down this way. And we go down this way. And we go up here. And we go down to go up. And then we go up and talk to an Ampharos, an awesome monster we can't have. That's fine. I mean, it's arbitrary, but that's fine. I think this game just wants to, you know, wave in front of me the fact I can't have an Ampharos. That's mean, game. She somehow returned to the gym by flying off the top of the thing. I have to go now, my planet needs me. Alright, so I can fight this gym. In fact, this should be pretty much a complete shutout with my fire type, so that's nice. What we do after that is the really tricky thing that I don't quite remember. because I think we need strength to do that other gym, and I don't know where to get strength. I don't even know if I have a monster that can learn it. I'm gonna have to, like, go to Google and figure out where to get HMs. Those arbitrary things no one likes. Alright, Shucky. Well, at least I have a team of 6 now, I guess, even though 2 of them are not supposed to be there. Okay, where's the Gym? Here it is. Of all no trainers I have to fight. Yes, it's a type that melts really, really easily. Oh no, you're Magnemite. Whatever shall I do? Oh wait, I can just burn it. Maybe I'll do that. I think that'll work out well. And that's why you take Cyndaquil. It's the best starter in this game. Just like how Charmander is the best starter, period. Just like Torchic is the best starter of the next game. I just don't like that HMs are forced down your throat and you need them. I mean, I've said it once, I'll say it again. I've played this one Pokemon hack that just gives you items instead of HMs, and you don't have to lug around a Tropius just to hold all the HMs ever. I don't care if you have levels on me, I have type advantage. And I'm fast. And you missed. I want to point out I lost to this Steelix probably in the realm of like 50 to 100 times back the first time I played this with Chikorita. At that point I gave up and went and started over and got a Cyndaquil and it was way better. Another Magnemite. See, it seems weird that you'd go Magnemite, Steelix, Magnemite. Why not finish with your best thing or end on your best thing? It just seems kind of bizarre that you just throw your best monster out in the middle. And you're done. And that's how you sweep a gym leader. And once again, we punched a girl in the face and stole a gym badge. Hooray! I'm gonna have to go to Google and figure out where to get strength. There should be a space in that name, or a hyphen, or something. Should not be one word. Hooray, I got a TM. Iron Tail. Okay, that's actually a good ability. Now, I don't know where the HM is. That's a problem. To Google! This is gonna make a lot of noise and I apologize. Go to the cafe in Olivine City and talk with one of the customers. Okay. See, I would not have figured out where the hell that is. Get Cyndaquil, fire type's always the best up to Gen 4, and Gen 4 then they're all crap. But Gens 1, 2, and 3 are, it's always the fire type's the best one. You can steamroll all of Gen 1 with just Charizard. In fact, I did. First time I played, I went through the entire game with just Charizard. It was awesome. Awesome. Okay. Please tell me I have something that can learn this. That isn't something I plan on using. Oh, hey, Reef can learn it. Awesome. Oh, I guess we'll get rid of Harden. I don't care. I'm not using Reef. Yeah, Blaziken's awesome. Not as cool as Charizard, but Blaziken was one of those weird monsters too, because it feels like it should be 3 types. It feels like it should be fire, fighting, and bird, but it loses like its bird element, which is a little weird. But I really like Blaziken myself. I think Blaziken was like the only good third evolution of Gen 3 starters. Like, I really like Grovile's design, but Sceptile just looks stupid. Marshtomp looks stupid. Or whatever the last one of Mudkips was. Bird is clearly a type. They just call it flying to be more appropriate to all the dragons that aren't dragons like Charizard, who somehow aren't Charizard, or aren't dragons. So instead they make them flying, which is clearly bird type. That's the same thing. Wasn't Gyarados at some point like a flying type as well? That was weird. I think I played a game where he was classified as a flying type, which was just bizarre. Oh look, it's Baby's first puzzle. Don't push the middle one in, push the side ones in. Done. I didn't swap my monster. Crap. Pokemon's mean to people from Manchester. That's all you can really take away from this. Fury Swipes is an okay attack if you need a normal attack, but I'm just gonna quick attack, that should take you out. Yep. Quick attack, it's the greatest attack of all. No, that's toxic. A quick attack is ridiculously useful. Okay, who do we want to swap in? I guess we'll give Jewel some time in the sun, because Luna seems to be weak to fighting, so we don't want to really subject her to more of that than we need. Alright, Spark. I mean, on the bright side, I guess today we got through 2 gyms. That's kind of nice. Still didn't get what I was going for, at least at this point, but maybe. I'm sure we're gonna get stopped and have to go deal with Team Rocket and, like, freaking Goldenrod or something I don't want to deal with. Ha! Paralyzed, 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 crap. Oh well, didn't do a lot of damage, so that's fine. 4. Oh, you got all 5. Still not all that much damage, though. Alright. This guy's name is Chuck. That's the thing you can't actually do. You're cheating, game. At least I got more monsters than him. That's a start. Alright, Sin. Let's start with Dig. I don't know, I think pushing rocks into holes is a little obtuse. What really got me was the fact that it reset if you left, though. I mean, I figured that out months ago. Because I completely forgot Gen 1, but ice puzzles are just terrible in general. Ice sliding sucks. Ice cave with shoving rocks into holes sucks. Ice is just a terrible thing to deal with when it comes to puzzles. To be fair, Gen 1's puzzles were very simple, but they were just obnoxiously designed. I mean, all of Sylph Tower sucked. Giant teleporting maze of nonsense. Screw that. Polyrath. Okay. Sounds like someone wants some shock therapy. Allow me to enlighten you, Polyrath. Shocking, isn't it? Zappy zappy. Okay, that's a problem. Do I want to wait? Crap. It's gonna be like 3 turns before I wake up at the earliest. There we go. That should do it. Yes, you lost because you're too busy training your own body to train your monsters. And you didn't even train your body well enough because I just punched you in your face and stole a badge. Oh hey, I can learn fly. Awesome. Dynamic punch. That could be useful. Alright, now let's see if arbitrary roadblock is gone now. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Ugh. So my awesome quest to actually fill out my team properly is once again halted by stupidity. I guess we gotta go stop Team Rocket now. Hooray! Alright, well, back to, Goldenrod, I guess. I think they expect you to have fly at this point, but I don't. As far as I know. And I don't bother checking. It's a thing I'll worry about later. That is one thing about this game. It really does like to throw a lot of gyms at you, like, right at once. It kind of reminds me of the end of, Kanto, where they just say, okay, now just go to these 3 gyms, because progression sort of stopped. Well, at least it opened up the world for you. Here it still kind of arbitrarily forces you down a corridor just by virtue of plot. I don't care so much for that. Route 41! It's the 41st route, I'll have you know. Why do you have such a pointy nose, Tentacruel? Perhaps the world will never know. Oh, come on. Yes! Alright. It's not the time to use that. I need to use that. That's the whole point of having that, is to use it. Or did I accidentally register something else? I probably did. It's probably my fishing rod, too. A from when I was trying to catch Chinchou. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, that was my fault. Fair enough. It does feel a little bit like they kind of ran out of ideas for Kanto at that point. But at least the world was open enough that you could really explore it at your leisure. It feels like they're trying to do that and then immediately like to take that freedom away from you, and I don't care for that. Oh? Oh, the contest is over. For some weird reason. Oh well, we already lost the bug contest. Oh, the disastrous quest for my Chinchou. Alright, okay, so now there's Team Rockets everywhere. Which means I think we either have to go to the radio station or underground or both, and both are just terrible. I guess we'll get on with that. All in the name of revenge against that asshole Red who stole our body and our glory, and then threw our team to the wind and tried to kill us. He will pay. He will pay. Okay, Reef, I don't need you. I never wanted you in the first place. Let's go, team. Alright, let's start with Luna. Get her some levels. Let me through. There never did seem to be any sort of, like, police force here. That's not the normal music. In fact, that's the Team Rocket theme. It's almost as if there's a Team Rocket presence here. That's impossible. It's not like this place had Team Rockets in it before. Oh, wait. It's not like this entire city has no police force for some reason. And it's not like they need some 10-year-old kid to clean up, like, international terrorists because no one else can be bothered. I think he was called Red because if there was like one version that was canon, it was like the red version, and he was named after that or something. And like the blue version, allegedly you were like playing as like the other half of the coin, so you were playing as blue and red was the jerk or something like that, even though he wasn't, or whatever. I don't know. If I recall, the Japanese versions actually defaulted your characters' names to Satoshi for Satoshi Tajiri, the guy who made this, and Pulseman, and Jelly Boy, and what was that other? Mendel Palace. And your rival's name was Shigeru for Miyamoto, for some reason. Alright, Raticate's down. The naming actually made a lot more sense if you read, like, the Pokemon Adventures manga, which, it's not, like, canon or anything, but it's probably, like, the best Pokemon story. Other than my Pokemon Adventure, clearly, but, yeah. Go read the Pokemon Adventure manga, it's good. It's actually pretty grim for, like, a kid's manga, too. Had a lot of stuff that was completely non-canon, but it was awesome. The curse of getting poisoned every time a poison attack hits me continues. At least I'm consistent! Alright, Luna leveled. Awesome. I don't really want to back out, so let's see if I've got a poison cure. Yes, I do! It seems weird that you label yourself exploiters of Pokemon. I would think you'd want to brand yourself a little better, like you're liberators of the world using your bestest pal's Pokemon. Or you're showing the world the true strength of nature or some bollocks, you know? But saying that you're basically using them as a means to an end because they're tools, that just paints you as weird. You guys need a better PR team, Team Rocket. I don't know, the anime is pretty bad. I've watched probably like the first season, maybe. I remember the Pokemon anime, at least to the first couple episodes, before they made like Pikachu the Jesus monster that could defeat any monster like rock types for no explained reason. You know, at least the first couple episodes of the Pokemon anime taught you how to play the games properly. I don't know, wasn't Gen 5 like the Pokemon Liberators or whatever? That said, PETA's made a bunch of Pokemon games as well. They were all terrible, but... Seriously, why does PETA have a game department, and how have they not been sued over all, like, the shitball games they've made? All you have are Rattatas. That is really depressing. You're not even leveled. Level better, damn it. You're not even worth the experience. Alright, we'll give Luna a break and swap in Jewel, I think. I want to keep out of your way. I want to get more in your face and obnoxious about all of it. Because you're in my way. On my way to kill that asshole Red who stole my body and glory. Because revenge, and the lightning of revenge burns bright. And also takes down flying types really, really easily. Seriously, Zubat, come on. That animation of Zubat, it's like they just gave up trying to do anything with Zubat. It's like, yes, we know, it's annoying, it's stupid, no one likes it. You would give up. Quitter. Next. Yeah, you were forced to disband because I was awesome and stopped you. Not that you'd recognize that because I've been quantum leapt into this body of some other kid. Grimer. You and your poison types. Alright, I think water's good against poison. I think. Probably not. Actually, if you think about it, poison shouldn't be. Because, you know, like oil spills on the ocean and stuff. If we're going back to like the sensible rock, paper, scissors approach of Pokemon, you'd think poison would be really, really good against water. Oh, and then you could combine it with fire, and then, like, all the water types would be on fire forever. It'd be, like, the awesome combination attack for double battles. PETA's the, I believe, People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. They're a bunch of eco-terrorists who fight under the guise of helping animals, but they make a crap ton of money, and they actually mistreat a lot of animals themselves, so saying they're good at what they do is a stretch. At least based on what I've heard allegedly. I'm hardly an expert on them, but I know they make a bunch of shitball games to try and, like, take down Pokemon because it's unethical to treat monsters by putting them in little Pokeballs where they get no air and food and water and stuff. And to be fair, you know, as I pointed out in my review, and you should go watch my review of Gen 1 Pokemon on my channel, Pokemon, especially Gen 1 Pokemon, was a little bit ethically weird in a lot of ways. It got better over time, but there's still some weirdness about it. I mean, I still think you can gamble in this game, which is weird for a kid's game. And they turned it into a radio tower in this game, but in the previous game you could visit what is essentially a giant mass grave, where your rival says he lost a teammate, and it's no longer part of his team, and it died. And if you're reading the Pokemon manga, which, again, you should be, he actually gets possessed by a Pokemon spirit, quite possibly the one of his deceased monster, because he mistreated it. That manga goes kind of dark in places, but it's genuinely really good. Up to Gen 4, then Gen 4's just weird. But that was Gen 4 in general. Let's throw Van Damme out there. Oh, you're not one of those rocket scientist guys. You're gonna fight me. Yeah, they weren't even subtle about PETA being Team Plasma, but at the same time, you know, given how much PETA's shit on Pokemon over the years, I think that's fair enough. I'm just surprised PETA just doesn't get blanket sued by, like, Nintendo and Game Freak, given how many other games PETA's, done things on. Like, there's that weird Super Tanuki game, which, like, has you chasing Mario after he steals a Tanuki's skin, which, a Tanuki is not a real creature world. Can we just back off on mythical animals that don't exist, please? Or something. I don't know, PETA is just a weird organization in general. I'm gonna go heal my monsters. So it looks like we got at least 3 more, plus 1 more upstairs, I'm betting. Jigglypuff! I like to think that's the reincarnation of dearest Jiggle Jim. The most clutch monster of all time. And I mean, to be fair, they don't actually heal monsters, they disintegrate them and clone them for you. That's the only way they actually recover. So yeah, Pokemon, it's an ethically weird place in gaming. And it's gotten better over the years, but they're still weird. I mean, I'm surprised they got away with having slot machines for as long as they did, honestly. That was weird. And there's, like, giving supplements and drugs to monsters. I mean, hell, we gave a monster a secret potion, which sounds like some kind of illegal substance. There's some weirdness in Pokemon, for sure. If only I had a fighting move. Oh wait, I do. Unfortunately, it's not a super effective fighting attack, but it's decent for what it needs to do. It's not gonna do anything. Oh god, I'm confused and paralyzed. That's the double whammy right there. Okay, new plan. Burn! I mean, it's kind of weird that, like, Pokemon breeding and, like, eggs and stuff are a thing in here. Like, that seems like a little bit weird for a kid's game as well. And it seems weird that, like, they half veil it. Like, they kind of just make a thing like, oh, this egg just magically appeared. It's like, look, if you're going to talk about breeding to kids, make it educational. Say, like, well, these two passed on their genes to create a next generation or something like that, you know? Kids grow up on farms. Or, you know, don't make it about breeding at all. You know, it's like they kind of half-assed a mechanic that could have been either educational or entirely inoffensive, but they just sort of stuck themselves in limbo, which was kind of weird. Especially for the time. I mean, nowadays it's not really that big a deal, but, you know, back in the 90s, I'm sure it's probably riled some parental group about, you know, oh, they're teaching kids about sex because Pokemon. Can I go through here? I don't have a card key. Give me a card key. Okay. Well, at least they didn't program him to block the door. That's sensible design right there. The explosive hand grenade monster. There's one. Next is a Grimer. Bestest buddy of coughing, of course. Yeah, that kind of works. You know, they love themselves very much and an egg appears. Sure. You know, it feels like they're trying to half cover it up from what they do now, but they still go ahead and say breeding, which is weird. I mean, hell, going back to the TV, you know, Brock and what's-his-name wanted to be Pokemon breeders. Like, they weren't hiding it or anything, they were just really half-assing what they were doing with it. And it's like, well, you can either just completely make an analogy, or you can make it educational, but don't half-ass it. Rattata. You smelly Rattata. I should have used rollout. Taking advantage of the fact I have it. Oh well. I got stabs. Awesome. Take that, Rocket Grunt. One of the many, many clones of all the Rocket Grunts. Okay, let's see. I guess we'll go with Luna again, because Van Damme is still paralyzed. He did too many splits. He has to sit a fight or two out. Yeah, Pokemon Breeder is a terrible trainer title. Hey, Porygon! That's a monster I can't get. I can't use that because it's Ghost. Can't use that because it's Ghost. I'll use Swift. Sure. Transformed into a rock type. Well, that might have been a mistake. Tri-Attack is actually a really cool attack. There aren't many monsters that can learn it, though. I think Dodrio and Porygon are the only monsters that can learn Tri-Attack. But it's a really neat attack. Normal type. Fine, I'll just use Swift again. I'm not really afraid of you. Yeah. It was weird how non-committal they were to, like, actually trying to, you know, analogize breeding and stuff. Alright, Team Rocket Grunt. You and your Zubat. Swift. Leech Life is one of the, like, least effective attacks out there. Like, I mean, let's just be honest. The worst attack of all time is Bide, but, you know, Leech Life is not much better. They're still half-assing the Zubat transformation, or appearance animations, with its successor Golbat. Good to know you were continuing to not care about this monster, as we all are. I remember thinking Crobat was actually kind of neat, but again, it was one of those like affection level up monsters that's like, why would I bother trying? Alright, what's your next one? A Grimer. Oh, not a Crobat? I was kind of expecting a Crobat. That would have been interesting. Okay. I'll just Shadow Ball you to death. I think Luna can learn Psybeam. And I'd like to be able to get the TM for Psybeam. I'm gonna have to figure out where that is. Leech Life by design has value, but it's a bad variation of it. Like, Mega Drain, Giga Drain, Leech Seed, Synthesis, there's Rest, hell, there's a myriad of better attacks that can heal and still do damage, and if you've got, like, Sleep Talk, you can use Rest and damage your opponent. Leech Life is, like, one of the least effective ones of those attacks. No. I came here for your fortune. I don't... Yeah, I know where you hit him. You hit him underground, so now I gotta go through the underground passage, which is an ass and a half. Alright, let's fight the floating hand grenade. No, worst move ever is Bide. Because even attacks like Splash can at least be used for a taunt. Astonish has some value. You can, I believe it's 100% hit rate, and it can cause your opponent to flinch, last I checked. I know Astonish has, like, some awesome special feature to it. I think Gen 4 added, like, a really good water healing attack, too. Like, I remember looking at some of the water attacks in Gen 4, like Scald, and a few other ones I can't think of right off, and just thinking, wow, I should really, like, just get a water type this generation just to see, like, what combination of awesome water attacks I can get, because Gen 4 had some really neat ones. As much as I like to quite appropriately shit on Gen 4, it had some neat water attacks, and it had Gallade, so there. It had two things of value. Yeah, Aqua Ring, that's the one I was thinking of. And Brine, Scald, Aqua Ring. There was one more I was thinking of, but I can't think of what it was. I don't think I ever bothered, but I also didn't really enjoy Generation 4 enough to try, so... I don't know, Generation 4 was like the worst generation of Pokemon, I think. And to be fair, it hasn't really gotten all that much better since. It's gotten a little better, but I still think the first three generations are the best. And what some of the fans are doing with like Gen 3 ROM hacks at this point are also pretty good. I guess we'll use Spark again. I could not stand Gen 4. It was short, and there was very little to do, and none of the new monsters were all that cool. It had, like, Luxor, and, Shinx and its evolutions, and it had Gallade, and that's all, like, the really cool monsters from that generation. All, like, two of them. I kind of like the idea of that one bagworm monster where, depending on where you are, it like changes its element. I think that was functionally interesting, but it was a bug type, so it was basically worthless. Yep, Shinx and Gallade. Those were like the two good monsters from that generation. There were some neat designs, like I kind of liked how there was a monster that was an exact reference of the very first game. Not the very first game, that's wrong, but the game that basically inspired Pokemon before Pokemon was actually able to come out, which was Pulseman on the Genesis. Do I want Confuse Ray? Yes, I do, actually. If I recall, Confuse Ray has a higher hit chance than Supersonic, but has the drawback of being Ghost. And then they just started, like, every generation adding, like, 2 or 3 new, for lack of a better term, like, Dragonites. Like, the stupid, dragon monsters that just take forever to level, and you don't get them till the end of the game, so why bother? Like, that's kind of what I hate about this. Like, in this game, the closest thing that's kind of analogous to that would, I guess, be Larvitar. And Larvitar you can't get until after you've beaten the game. Technically, there was 2 monsters, sort of. One was Pichu, or rather, his attack Volt Tackle, which was a reference to Volt Tecker, which was Pulseman's signature attack. But the one monster that was an exact reference to Pulseman was Rotom, the electric monster that could jump into the electrical circuitry and control stuff. Much like how Pulseman could fuse with, like, the internet-connected devices to platform around. Also, you should go play Pulseman, it's awesome. I wish we got it on anything other than the Sega channel up here, because the Sega channel sucks. Hooray, I got the basement key. Now I gotta go down to the freaking underground and come back here, because just pointless roundaboutness. I just want to catch a Skarmory. Is this really that hard to do? Evidently. Sega Channel did die. It's long since dead. Hasn't been around since, like, 93, I think. But that was the only way we got, a couple really awesome games over here. It was the only way we got, Mega Man Wily Wars, which was the awesome Mega Man compilation on the Genesis. There was Alien Soldier, which I still think is one of the best, Genesis games. And there was Pulseman, which I also think was really good. I believe it was a subscription-based, like, cable thing. You hook your Genesis up to the internet, and you have to, like, download games temporarily. It was not dissimilar to, like, the Satellaview system. Hooray. Oh good, it's Fafimon. Still not having any memory of the fact that we were best friends and rivals, and he used to actually treat his monsters well after I kicked his ass at the Pokemon League before he was Quantum Leaped by Blue. Oh, you've got more monsters than me. That's all kinds of depressing. Ah, Luna. Oh, you're the opposite of what I want right now. Right now I want Jewel. Oh, that's gonna suck. Yeah, I miss Sega being first party as well, but at the same time, given the way they went about, you know, producing things, instead of just focusing on, you know, huge steps, they went for incremental increases on technology, but it was just as expensive, if not more, and they didn't support their own games. So by the time they actually made an awesome system, like the Sega Saturn, which I will defend as being the best system ever, and the Dreamcast, you know, no one was buying because they were just like, oh, I'll wait till next year and get the next one. Because they figured, you know, Sega's gonna make a new one, and they didn't. Because after a while, Sega just didn't have the money. Alright, next is Magnemite. Yes, I will swap my monster to the far more awesome Cinder. I'm not sure that's technically true, seeing as Sega owns Atlas now. They care a lot about JRPGs, which I appreciate. But that's the thing, yeah, they were making a lot more of their own franchises because they had more teams and stuff to do stuff, but at the same time they were focusing so much on building the hardware, they weren't supporting it. Whoopsie. I meant to swap to Jewel again. Let's do that anyway. Besides, a lot of the greatest things Sega had back in the day were third-party releases. At least in my opinion, like, I can name, like, all my favorite Sega games, except for maybe, like, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, were all, like, at least on the Genesis anyway, were third-party stuff. No, Atlas was bought out by Sega. I think they just use it to publish JRPGs, though. At least that's how I heard it. Haunter. I guess we'll go with Luna. Oh, don't even get me started on Dokapon. I have spent so much time looking for the Wii game. That's such a hard game to find. Alright, Luna. Nice work. Sneasel. That's a dark type. I'm gonna roll the dice and see if, I like Sneasel's design. I mean, it's not a great monster, but I love its design. I have been searching for, the Wii Dokapon Kingdom for years. That is not very effective. Okay, fair enough. And I got hit by a curse. Awesome. Okay, let's swap that out to Van Damme, who should be able to finish this out with some fighting attacks. You and your quick attack. You know, if all you do is quick attack, I should be able to counter you to oblivion, Sneasel. Much like that. Yep, keep doing that. That's great. I kind of wonder if this game still has, like, the counter bug of Gen 1, where if your enemy used an item and you countered, you would automatically, like, insta-kill any enemy. I've been wanting to play Dokapon, period, but it's just so hard to find. I don't think I've ever actually seen a copy of it. Take that, Faffymon. Because you don't treat your team with love. And Heart of the Cards and whatever other bollocks these anime things like to teach kids. You know that thing I taught you when I kicked your ass back at the Elite Four when you were champion? Yeah, that thing. You need to relearn that. Alrighty. Let's go heal up and go take on Team Rocket again! Also, it's nighttime, so I can't even catch a Skarmory if I wanted to. Next time. Okay, so we've got our newly cloned monsters. Van Damme needs some levels, we'll throw him out in front. Okay, so we're gonna go back downstairs, go find the director, find the key, go storm the radio tower, punch some people in the face. And hopefully life will be good for everyone, always, ever. Rocket clone sends out a Rattata. One of the many cloned Rattatas the clone rocket grunts use. I'll just dizzy punch you to death. The only move I'm scared of from a Rattata is, Hyper Fang. That's just because it's got, like, a crazy high hit rate, or crit rate. Down. Alright. Switch one. Full heal. Hooray! Oh, this is one of those things where you gotta solve puzzles with buttons. Oh god, this is gonna be bad. There's no reason to design anything like this. Like, just from a realistic perspective, there's no sensible reason to design a system where if you press one button, it closes a thing but opens another. That's just needlessly pointless. Let's go, Van Damme. Alrighty, so gotta get through a stupid switch puzzle. Awesome. Well, at least we're getting experience, which means we're getting levels. Which means when we can actually get to a point where we can catch some new interesting monsters, we're going to be way over-leveled. Sludge. And the curse of poison once again rears its ugly head. But again, consistency. It's important. And I have it. So, you know, there's that. I fear not your Rattata. Oh, Jet Set Radio is the best skate game ever. I've always wanted to play Super Monkey Ball. I freaking loved Crazy Taxi, even though I've only really played the bad ones that have like all the fun stuff removed. Outrun is the greatest arcade game ever designed. Knights is easily one of my favorite games of all time. Billy Hatcher was interesting. I've never played Choo Choo Rocket. Sonic's good. I hate Puyo Puyo with a passion. But Fantasy Star is pretty good. I'm pretty sure there's still Puyo Puyo games out there. I think they just released one on the 3DS. Actually, I just got this, it's in the mail right now, but I just got this neat little piece of Puyo Puyo merch. I'm thinking of, in the near future, doing a video on it when it shows up. So, keep an eye out for that if you're interested. But not the biggest fan of Puyo Puyo. Like, I'm terrible at puzzle games in general, but the thing about Puyo Puyo is it just has, like, the worst difficulty curve ever, because the first level's kind of fair, and then after that it expects you to completely understand the mechanics and master it, or you're dead. And I am terrible at fighting games to begin with. Or fighting games. Well, I am terrible at fighting games. I'm terrible at puzzle games. Yeah, a new Outrun would be great. A new Jet Set Radio would be amazing. I still need to get one more of the Jet Set Radio games, and I've got the full set. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Restar. Restar is awesome. In fact, you can go on my YouTube channel and see my review of Restar. Back when I had a really, really shitty mic and didn't know what I was doing and was still using Movie Maker. And that's the funny thing, that Sega really does mostly only care about Sonic nowadays, and the fact that they don't have to spend the time and energy developing consoles, you'd think they would sink that into, you know, developing more software to build up their fan base, but they don't, which is a weird thing about it. Turn on Switch 3. The terrible Switch project? Good. They should have. Oh, just gotta check something real quick. Okay, I got an hour before that happens. Okay. Sorry, I just realized I'm looking up a thing on eBay and the auction ends in an hour and I don't want to miss it, so just had to make sure. Windows Movie Maker is good if you're making slideshows. It is not made for movies. Like, it just is not. I have run into so many moments, and if if you've used Movie Maker, you know what I'm talking about. The dreaded yellow triangle of death. I have completed entire video projects that took weeks in order to, like, produce on Movie Maker, and just as you, like, hit, export, suddenly everything turns to that dreaded yellow triangle, and suddenly, oh, you gotta start over, and then it turns out it somehow backwards corrupts the source file, so you can't use that anymore. I have lost entire months to Movie Maker just being a complete bastard. And that's why I do not regret moving to Vegas. It actually works and is good. And I got it through Humble Bundle, so it was really, really cheap. That goddamn yellow triangle was the worst thing ever. And that's why, if you're ever thinking of making videos, I recommend you never use Movie Maker. Yes, it's free, although you can't technically get it anymore officially, but it's not made for movies, and it's not good for movies, and it breaks, like, immediately when you try and do anything with it. And yes, it takes a little while to get, like, used to something like Vegas or something, but, you know, Vegas is actually a really easy program to figure out. Oh, these stupid switches. Turn that off, maybe? Oh, these switches. Well, technically, if they wanted to make Outrun, and they wanted to make it, like, officially proper Outrun, they'd need the Ferrari license again, which I don't think they can yet. But that said, they've backwards made all the previous Outrun games without the Ferrari license. Your car just now has, like, a star with wings on it. Just want to get past these stupid goddamn shutters. Let's not talk shit about Jet Set Radio. I love Jet Set Radio. It's the only skate game I was ever good at. Fork over goodies? No. You fork over your goodies. With your exploding hand grenade monsters. Okay, gotta dizzy punch you. And I'm out of dizzy punch, that's a problem. I need more dizzy punch. I'm afraid if I leave this place, the switches will reset. That scares me a lot. So we're just gonna sit here and not do that. Well, I just call it the yellow triangle of death because the moment you see it, your project is literally dead. Like, not only does it affect the project you're editing, but it backwards corrupts the files that all of, like, everything you've been editing came from. So literally everything you have and everything you had prior is just gone. So I think yellow triangle of death is about as accurate a description as you could ever find. Alright, well, I've got water gun. So, death by squirt gun is your fate, Magmar. Alright, that's Magmar down. Alright, Van Damme leveled. I guess I'll stick with Jewel for the moment. Well, there were, like, other third-party things that you could use instead of Movie Maker. Or if you had the big bucks, you could go buy, like, well, any number of things that are really expensive, unless you're doing this, like, on a high-grade movie production budget. I just want to get past this stupid door. Okay, let's try this one. Are you going to give me a hint? I'm going to talk to you. Yeah! Oh yeah! There we go. That's how we puzzle. Good. Alright. Alright, I think we're gonna swap back to Cinder. And burn this weed to the ground. Oh, you didn't get poisoned. That's a plus. Alright. What's next? I'm gonna stick with Cinder. Sin's got this. Alright, nice work, Cinder. And please tell me this turns everything off. That didn't seem to actually do anything. Alright, fine, whatever. I'm sure that item ball wasn't something I really wanted. Yeah. Yeah, I know how you feel. Well, my ad revenue's gone too, but it's because I'm not popular enough on YouTube. That's why I'm trying to make it through Patreon donations. It's hard doing what you like on the internet, because you basically have to beg for money from people now. And that's the thing about YouTube, is they just continually dick over literally anyone who isn't, like, in the top 1% of, like, money earners. As it's like, okay, you're not famous enough, so we're taking away your ability to make money. Oh, what's that? You made money before? Well, you don't now. And it's like they go through and, like, their system is set up so that if you're searching for something, you're gonna find the more well-labeled people before you find any of the smaller, more obscure people who might have actually done a better job, but they're just lesser known. And it sucks because I'm basically reduced to begging on the internet from random strangers, and spoilers, begging from random strangers doesn't really work all that well. I mean, I only have like 4 people who actually want to help support my Patreon, which is great, and I'm incredibly thankful for them, but it's really hard to try and live off that, especially considering that I'm now unemployed and just no one wants to hire me. You know, this is what I have, and, you know, honestly, I'm fine with doing this for a living. This is, like, the one thing I've ever found myself to be good at, but I'm just in a position where I basically am reliant on other people for my own success, and that is something that has never been good in my life. Yeah, exactly. That's it exactly. It's like unless you're PewDiePie or Game Grumps or whatever, you're not going to make money through YouTube anymore, and it sucks because that's literally the one thing I've ever found any degree of success with. So I guess the large point of all of this, and the large point of this entire direction now, I guess, is if you know someone who's doing something like this and you really like them, you know, support them in any way you can. And I'm not just saying that it's a veiled way for me of saying, you know, help support my Patreon so I can eat. I mean, that would be nice, but, you know, if you don't support the people who are no longer being supported by their own work and, you know, the people they essentially work for, like YouTube, you know, they're gonna die. And it's really sad because, I mean, at least in my case, this is my one passion, you know, is video games. I wanted to make them for the longest time. I worked for 15 years on one, and then a flood destroyed it. Well, what do I have after that? Well, I got my passion. I guess I'll try and take it onto YouTube and see if I can turn that into something. And I mean, up to this point, it's been really hard for me because, you know, until I was like 23 and I started doing this on YouTube, I was a complete mute. And even talking now is really, really hard for me, but, you know, I do it because this is really the only way I can ever try and achieve my dreams. And, you know, if you can't work towards achieving your dreams and being happy, what's the point in living? You know? I don't know, that's the thing, I'm not in this as a business, so to speak. Like, I'm not in it to make money, but I still need to make money in order to live, you know? I'm a dreamer more than anything. Yeah, I don't support Nintendo's partnership program at all. It's bullshit. Like, I've got pirate games that feature, like, Mario Bros. And Contra, and they're hit by that stupid arbitrary, like, copyright flag system, which has been abused to hell and back. And, like, that copyright system existed for a valuable reason. It existed so people wouldn't just copy and paste entire movies onto YouTube. So people could watch them for free. And, yeah, there's value to that. But it's just been abused to all hell and back, and no one does anything for it. And what's worse is, you are considered to be a thief until you prove otherwise. And the only way you can prove otherwise is to contest a bot who will automatically contest you. And that could put your entire channel in jeopardy if you do that. And now the higher-ups are completely dicking over everyone else by doing things that are just unsavory and scaring away, you know, all the ad revenue, which is why, unless you're a higher up, you no longer make ad revenue. And that's the funny thing. They're the ones responsible. It's not a bunch of little guys no one's going to pay attention to. It's the big guys, and it's the big guys who are getting away with it. And everyone else is completely screwed over because of it. I mean, I can't even get back to ad revenue until I earn 300 more subscribers. And the fact is, you know, it has taken me like 5 years to get where I am now, and I'm not even remotely successful, but I just... You know, I think if I'm going to survive, it's going to be through people being generous and donating and helping me survive, because I think that's the only way anyone's going to survive this, in my position and in the position of a lesser-known person. You know, it's just, that is unfortunately how the situation is at this point. And it's bullshit that we're put here. We're treated like criminals by essentially our own employer, the people who we provide money to, and, you know, we're not compensated for our own efforts or work. Yeah, I have to admit, I kind of begged a couple of my college friends to at least kick my Patreon a couple of bucks, just because that's the only way I'm actually making money. And the sad thing is, that is literally pretty much all of my money at this point is just from people I've had to directly basically beg for. Like, just no one wants to help random strangers online, and, you know, to be fair, helping random beggars is kind of annoying, I get it, but at the same time, the fact that we're even put into this situation to begin with sucks. And the fact that, you know, the economy is so bad that, you know, even if you wanted to help someone, you can't, and even if you wanted to do something else, or just understood this wasn't viable and had to do something else, you can't. Like, I'm basically stuck doing this and hoping it works out. And that basically requires me to just, you know, hope a million people see this, like it, and, you know, kick me a couple of bucks. You know, that's really the sadness of this situation Google has put us in, and it's a completely nonsensical thing to do. And they continue to, like, make these updates which continue to break the system, but they don't bother to ever, you know, fix anything that's actually broken. And that's the most baffling thing of all, is how they're still functioning at this point. Where the hell am I? Hey, there's an item. I want item! Give me item! Oh, maybe I can get them later. Or it's a timed event or something. Oh, I'm under the mall is where I am. Yeah, this whole system is messed up, and the only thing I can think of that we could really do about it is, like, just to go out and basically make a new YouTube that isn't, you know, broken and is there for the people. But the fact is, that would require everyone to start back from zero and everyone else to, like, figure out how to do it and start from the beginning, and I just don't see that as happening. But it's just baffling that you can work, like me, I work like 20 hours a day on my channel, and I get nothing for it. And I'm happy to do it because, you know, this is basically the only way I'm going to ever achieve my dreams now, so, you know, okay, fine, but the fact that the situation's just this bad and we're constantly, every step of the way, getting torn down by the people who basically require us to do our... Whoops, I didn't mean to throw that away. Oh well. Less money for me, I guess. It just sucks that every step of the way we go out and make things better for Google, we support them, we provide them with money and things so that they can make money, and yet all they do is dick us over at every turn. And it's surprising that they survived this long. I don't know. It's just a terrible situation, and outside of either a mass exodus to something better or, you know, being discovered by 1,000,001 people who all want to just support me, it's hard to see any way to succeed. But I genuinely, at this point, I have no other options. This is basically what I've got. You know, as depressing as that is. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, I work inhuman hours, and I basically don't get paid for it. I get $25 American a month from my Patreon donations from 4 people that I really appreciate that they helped and I begged for, but, you know, it's just really hard to do anything nowadays just because the way Google is making it. And granted, I didn't make a lot of money from ads to begin with. I mean, like I said, I'm not that famous, I'm not that popular. I worked on YouTube for 5 years up to this point, and I got 1 ad revenue check literally like a month before they decided to just completely take away ad revenue for everyone. And it's just, it's baffling that this is how it's working and how they're getting away with it, you know? Especially considering that the people who are causing the problems to begin with are getting off completely scot-free, and it's everyone else who could potentially be, you know, salvaging this problem and, you know, helping if a big name seller, you know, gets taken out or whatever. You know, it's the little guys who are going to have to step up and make it, and, you know, they're just constantly dicking us over, so we're never going to be found, and, you know, we're never going to become the big people who make them the most money, you know? It's just terrible. Yeah, well, I work for donations. $25 a month is about it. Now, the nice thing is, that's American, and I'm Canadian, so it actually means I get, like, $35 a month, which is kind of nice, but, you know, at this point I'm resorting to having to beg viewers, and, you know, either through sheer apathy or just the fact that whether they want to or not, they just don't have money to support me, and, you know, that's fine. You know, I'm hardly in a position to force them to do anything, and I wouldn't want to either. That just seems like a jerk move on my part if I were, but... And that's why on my Patreon I genuinely do not have, like, tiered rewards or anything, because I don't want to feel like I'm holding content back from everyone else. I want everything to be available to everyone. The only extra thing I can offer is, you know, onto the Patreon supporters Discord, where we just, you know, complain, and I occasionally post when there's free, like, online games and stuff. You know, it's not much, but it's something. But I don't want to, like, hold content back from people who don't want to support me either, because that just doesn't seem fair. Wow, that's impressive. $4,000 a month. I'm incredibly jealous. Granted, I started pretty late. I started in 2013 myself, but again, the fact that I started on YouTube was a response to having 15 years of my life's work ripped away by a minor natural disaster that I just couldn't recover from, really. And it's like, well, if I'm gonna have any way to have my dream and, you know, just work with video games, which I love, I gotta take it to some sort of social media and just, you know, talk about games for a living. I'd be fine with that, and I am fine with that, but I need to actually be able to pay for food at some point. I mean, as it stands, I can't even really pay for games, which is why I'm really glad I've got a few people who've donated games over the years, but it's just the whole situation of how YouTube's been basically screwing us over all the way back when they started putting in, like, those copyright robots and stuff. It's just been amazing how much they want to push and dick over everyone that earns them their money. Yes, hashtag small YouTubers need love, but especially me. I'm the one that's important because I'm me. It'd be someone else if I was someone else, but currently I'm me, and I know my own situation better than all, and it's kind of abysmally bad. I remember when I started this, very early on, back when there was a website called screwattack.com, back when it didn't redirect you to Rooster Teeth, which I have an incredible hatred for nowadays because of everything they've done, I was featured on their front page every time I made a video. And I don't think it actually helped my viewership or anything, but the fact that some community actually thought I was amazing enough to put, like, top billing, page 1, this is something you gotta know, that was amazing to me. It felt like I was actually of value to someone. And then the owner sold it to a bigger company and they were eaten by Rooster Teeth, and I hate Rooster Teeth with a passion, but, you know, Screw Attack, that was a thing where I was actually a big name for a very brief period of time. And, you know, I don't think it helped whatsoever, but it still at least made it feel like what I was doing mattered. And people actually valued my own existence. But, you know, it's all about just being able to do what I enjoy in life, and if I can do that, I'm happy. But at the same time, you know, I still need to be able to pay for food and games. So, you know, if anyone out there wants to donate to my Patreon, or, you know, send me games, feel free. It'd be super. Alright, okay. Please tell me these are the last 2 grunts, because I have an eBay auction I'm looking at, and it's ending in 40 minutes. I got time. I want to make a movie with all the stuff I'm getting off of eBay for dirt cheap, because I think it would be neat, and it would, like, it would be interesting for people. And I've only ever made one of those videos before, so it'll be interesting to try and work things out and get into a rhythm of doing those things normally. Like, I'd like to do more of those, like, video game treasure chests, or whatever I called it. Like, I'd like to do one every quarter, but I'd need, you know, games and money and stuff. But I've got a couple of neat little things I've found on eBay super cheap that I want to show off through there. And I think it would impress some people. So if you're interested in random video game nonsense, check my channel, like, around Christmas, I guess, would maybe be the time I'd do this. Because I need to get those floodlights back, because someone took them from the storage room. And there's only one room down here that has light, and it's mine, and the lighting is terrible, so I need those floodlights. But I think it'd be fun to do another one of those. Oh, so close. I'm gonna swap to Cinder, but I still want Luna to get the experience. Alright, Sin, let's go. I don't know, what happened to Screw Attack was weird. I mean, like, I posted there every week, every time I made a video. And then one day I went to log in and it just redirects to Screw Attack, or redirects to Rooster Teeth, and it's like, what is this horse shit? Why am I being directed to this giant sellout company that has not been good in, like, 10 years? Ugh. I'm so incredibly... And Screw Attack is still around technically on YouTube as an affiliate of, like, Rooster Teeth. It's like, that's just a slap in the face. And I think, the two makers of ScrewAttack each went off and made their own YouTube channels that I don't think ever really took off. Like, Handsome Tom had the Game Heroes, which went for a few months and then stopped, and then a couple years later they made like a return video, and then they never did anything again. And I think Craig has Game Attack based off their store they owned for a very brief time. But I don't know, I don't even want to like support someone that goes and dicks over their entire audience like that. Yep. ScrewAttack is now Rooster Teeth, and it's all shit. And that's the sad thing. Rooster Teeth actually started being good. Like, at the beginning, Rooster Teeth was decent. But, like, after, like, 5 or so years, they decided to completely sell out. And don't get me wrong, if you like someone, you want them to sell out. But the problem is they completely sold out to the point where there was more product placement than there was actual content. And their content went downhill just to make room for more product placement. And it's just terrible. So basically what I'm saying is, if you like small, awesome YouTubers that aren't Rooster Teeth and ScrewAttack and you want them to succeed, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you've got money you want to chuck to make a world a better place, I've got a Patreon. And stuff. But, this is Houndour. This is a monster I really like. I can't get one until basically after I beat the game. And it's going to be really low leveled, so why bother? Is Normal Boots back? I remember they, like, died and then came back and then died again. Huh. I don't know. Like, that's the thing about me, is I don't script anything I do. On a fundamental level, I think if I script my reviews and stuff, it loses the genuine passion I have for it. So I don't script anything, but because of that, I fundamentally refuse to watch other video game videos because I don't want to, like, inadvertently steal other people's jokes or something, subconsciously. So I can't watch other people's game channels and stuff. But it's funny, I also work like 20 hours a day on my channel, in some degree or another, and it's like I work so much on the internet that I don't have time for the internet. It's genuinely kind of an interesting paradox. I don't know, Normal Boots was like JonTron, Peanut Butter Gamer, The Completionist I think was the newest one. I think there's probably a few others that have joined since they rebanded or something, but it's like, you know, I don't like any of these people. They feel like they're trying to be like too much of like a skit and like a comedian and not enough of an actual, like, you know, reviewer and content creator, which is why I don't do skits and stuff, aside from the fact that it would take infinitely more time and effort on my part that I don't have. But it's just weird. Well, the weird thing about JonTron, and I've never really had an interest in him, but he kept teaming up with a bunch of different people, and then leaving, and it was like every step of the way, as I understand, of course, I'm not him, I don't know the situation or anything, but as I understood, he basically burned bridges with literally everyone he worked with. Oh, yeah, there we go, that's how you pull a victory from the jaws of defeat. Good work, Sin. But let's be honest, the most important person on YouTube is me. So who cares about JonTron? Hooray, they disbanded. I'm betting that's not the last time we'll see them. Your courageous actions. I got a clear bell. I think that's a plot item. Why wouldn't you clear out that tower before you destroy it? That doesn't make sense. What is this item? Hooray! Okay, I think we're running out of time, but I want to go see if Arbitrary Roadblock guy is gone now. So I want my goddamn Skarmory. I think I'm going to try and stream that other game I got, which is, spoilers, The World Ends With You, which is one of my most favorite games of all time, but it's the Switch version, so I don't know. I haven't played it yet. But I'm thinking I will do a video of that maybe tomorrow. I think people think JonTron burned Game Grumps because he just hasn't been on since. At least as far as I know, I haven't seen Game Grumps since basically they were created. And I found them largely underwhelming and dumb. Not worth my time. Also, it's nighttime. I can't catch a Skarmory at night, which sucks. It's one of those things that's just... You can't get it because it's the wrong time of day because we had to turn on an internal clock. I hope you enjoyed. I don't know, though. But, yeah, I think I'll do The World Ends With You this week if I have time. If I can't do it this week, I'll probably just skip it. But I still haven't started, and I'd like to play one of my favorite games again. That would be nice. And if that spaceship game shows up this week, maybe I'll do a video on that. That'd be kind of fun. But this has already gone on really, really long. And I still haven't put up my videos up on YouTube because I don't want it to go up without this. Up. Oh, I gotta get Reef out of storage. Crap. Hey, it's a Stantler. And dogs barking. Awesome. Okay, I wonder why we can't use that PC on the actual desk. Why we need this one in the corner. That just seems weird. Okay, withdraw. We need Reef. And if we can get past, next time we will try and go get some awesome monsters. And if not, well, we're probably gonna just have to do a nonsense at the Tin Tower. And then go get the awesomeness. Oh, but probably have to do the last gym because more arbitrary flags. Alright. Now, please let me pass. 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 Yeah! Awesome. Alright, well, we're going to continue here next time, where we're going to see how far we can go out of the way, just so I can finally actually finish my goddamn team. But like always, feel free to follow the show on Twitch, so you can see more as it comes up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so that eventually I can earn a high enough subscriber count so I can actually make ad revenue again and eat. And if you want to help allow me to eat more often, feel free to hit up my Patreon and support it there. That way you can get onto the supporters Discord and we can continue to complain about Screw Attack and Rooster Teeth and how bad YouTube's gotten, because let's just be honest. Anyway, I will see you next time. Maybe tomorrow, where we're going to look at The World Ends With You, hopefully. But until then, peace out, Internet.